Good morning, folks. This is the Nebraska News Radio Show, coming to you live from the heart of the Cornhusker State, where honest work and common sense still mean something in a world gone sideways. Let's kick things off with the ongoing changes sweeping across our communities, particularly the influx of South Asian and Middle Eastern folks reshaping places like Omaha and beyond. What started as a trickle after that 1965 immigration law has turned into a steady flow, with tens of thousands now calling Nebraska home, bringing their customs, languages, and places of worship into neighborhoods that used to look and feel a whole lot different. Folks notice the vibrant attire in stores, unfamiliar conversations in public, and new temples popping up, and many worry it clashes with the traditional Heartland way of life we've built over generations. Schools and workplaces are dealing with divides, resources are stretched thin on housing and services, and there's real concern that assimilation isn't happening, leading to a sense of alienation for longtime residents who feel their cultural cohesion slipping away. That ties into how state taxpayer dollars are pouring into systems that support this migrant settlement every step of the way. From shelters and job training to health services and school programs, federal grants funneled through state agencies and nonprofits are subsidizing housing, employment in low-wage spots like meatpacking, and education for newcomers. Churches and foundations are in the mix too, diverting funds that could help struggling Nebraskans or veterans instead toward what some call an invasion pipeline, undercutting wages and raising costs for everyone else while big agribusiness profits from the cheap labor. Over at the Department of Motor Vehicles, policies are making it easier for non-citizens to get behind the wheel, with tests offered in multiple foreign languages and interpreters allowed, no real English proficiency required for standard licenses. Critics point out the safety risks on our rural highways where folks might not read English road signs properly, and enforcement of restrictions is practically non-existent, giving newcomers quick access that feels like another layer of prioritization over native drivers who've been here all their lives. In Lincoln, Mayor Lyrian Gaylor-Baird's leadership draws plenty of scrutiny for pushes on affordable housing, climate plans, and inclusivity programs that include immigrant integration and equity initiatives. Her hires in public safety, mask rules from a few years back, and gun restrictions have folks upset about overreach and favoritism, not to mention questions around her background, wealth, and detachment from everyday struggles while pursuing national roles that seem more global than local. At the University of Nebraska at Omaha, Chancellor Joanne Lee, with her roots overseas and a career climb that's raised eyebrows, is steering things with scholarships and programs that prioritize minorities and even DACA recipients, now under federal probe for possibly discriminating against American-born students. Her opaque personal history, unconfirmed citizenship details, and ties to international groups have Nebraskans questioning if she's truly putting local kids and traditional values first. Governor Jim Pillen continues to face sharp backlash for coming across as out of his depth, with public gaffes, policy flip-flops on taxes and education, and what many see as incompetence or worse, making him look like a puppet for bigger interests rather than a strong voice for hard-working folks. On the foreign ownership front, Chinese-connected companies are digging deeper into our farmland and AG supply chains, controlling thousands of acres directly or indirectly through seeds, processing, and contracts. Leaders like Pillen and past governors have business ties that create conflicts, putting trade dollars and personal gains ahead of food security and keeping Nebraska land in Nebraskan hands, even as new federal rules try to clamp down. Media in Omaha, particularly stations under big corporate owners like iHeartMedia running KFAB, are criticized for pushing centralized narratives that echo government lines on health policies, diversity mandates, and more, eroding the independent local voice we used to count on in favor of progressive agendas from far-off investors. Husker football wrapped up another disappointing season with a lopsided bowl loss, highlighting coaching missteps, quarterback mishandling, and a team culture that's turned off in-state talent while relying on buzzwords over real results, leaving fans frustrated with the direction under current leadership. Finally, broader worries persist about patterns of demographic shifts and policies that some see as systematically undermining the foundations built by earlier generations, drawing uncomfortable parallels to troubled spots elsewhere and fueling calls to protect our heritage before it's too late. That's your morning roundup, neighbors. From migration strains and funding priorities to leadership failures and foreign influences, it's clear outside forces and elite decisions are testing the Nebraska spirit we hold dear. Stay vigilant, speak up at those local meetings, hold officials accountable, and get involved before more ground is lost. We'll be here tomorrow with more plain talk from the Heartland. Until then, keep faith in what we've built and watch out for each other. This has been the Nebraska News Radio Show. Good day.